Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Christine Bullock if it's your first time visiting here, and today we're gonna go over my baby must-haves for around ages 3 to 6 months. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure to tune into my newborn must-haves because I still use tons of those things, the diaper bags, the swaddles. So you gotta keep those around, and you're gonna add some new things because baby continues to develop. What's up guys, I'm Christine Bullock. Remington is now a little over 6 months, and she is just quickly developing her motor skills and attention. And these are some of the toys that really help with that. Around the 3-month age, you'll see that they're starting to pick their head up, and they're really starting to try and use their hands and their fingers and their arms to grab things. And some of these things for Remi, like this was too heavy for her to hold at first, and these guys, first couple of things that she held were really tiny. This was from the Honest Company. I like this because it was very soft, easy for her to put in her mouth, lots of different little areas for her to grab with her little fingers, but soft because they don't have those motor skills down yet. So with this, I was still very careful. It's really light and she loved it, but I was worried she would hit herself. And this, they love different textures, so there's the wood and just the yarn. And obviously very natural if they are putting it into their mouth too. It's okay for them. Then as she started to pick up heavier stuff, it's like, you know, going from 2-pound weights to 5-pound weights to 10-pound weights. So she became a CrossFitter basically with these guys. And there's still, she loved to hold these and play with them, and there's the colors that go along with it and the sounds to play with. So we would even use these when we're trying to get her attention or feeding her. And then I love these. These are still my newborn must-haves, but I wanted to reiterate these. These are from the Little Market, and so these are made from women around the world. They have rattles in them, but what I love, they're a little harder for her to grip. The donut was the easiest, and she loves the flower. Great photo opportunity here, right? But also, they're just really soft for her to put in her mouth and really soft for her to play with. I wasn't afraid at all for her to hit herself in the head, where I kind of watched with these constantly. So these are great developmental toys. 2 other things, or 3 other things that I loved. My niece loved these Jellycat books, so I got a dozen of them basically when I found out we were bringing Remington home from her adoption, because of the texture. They're texturized books. I'm sure there's a lot of different brands, but these ones are really cute. There's like, if I were a unicorn, if I were a hippo, if I were a lamb, and if I were a bunny, if I were a poodle, because you know we have poodles around here. So they have the soft textures, and you can read them, and just different textures in here, velvety. You can see they have the rough textures as well. And you can't get a paper cut. So babies are gonna grab at all of your books, and these are thick enough where I wasn't afraid of her ripping the page or hurting herself with them. So these Jellycat books are awesome. And then we found that she loved, these are also Jellycat books, and it was genius of them, but they love the sounds of the paper. She loves that sound. And then they are also interactive with the little tails, and you can, like, these are the doggy tails, and these are like fish tails and mouse tails and all that. But she loves playing with them, and much lighter for her to hold and interact with, as opposed to she can't really, at 3 months, hold that book yet. So this was a must-have, not only in the house, but when we travel with Remi. This, a couple of these Little Market toys, and a few of these little toys as well, we always brought with us. And last but not least, and you're gonna get it in every must-have, yes, I love the little giraffe here. And I think it's great for her to put in her mouth, but I'll be honest, you know, here, yes, there's this part they can put in their mouth, and they can squeeze it, it makes a little noise. She loves this just as much as she loves any of these other toys to play with and soothe herself and put in her mouth. So we love the little giraffe guy, but you know, you want a plethora of toys for them. And then Remi starts developing from the 3-month motor skills into the 6-month motor skills, where you'll start to see them sitting up on their own, potentially planking a little bit, using their core strength, doing a lot more tummy time. Remi just started crawling, well, scoot crawling. So your toys will develop as well. Some of the things that we use, I love, you need a play mat. I mean, I had just decorated this house, but furniture is like pushed to the side, and we have a whole Remi area here now. And I wanted something safe for her because she's starting to roll around. She's doing a lot of tummy time, and we have wood floors. So we bought this, and this is super chic and super cute. It's the little Nomad play mat, and I have a discount code for you. We'll put it in the notes below. But they come in different colors. I've heard they just launched a new pretty series with like constellations and stars on them. So they're a bit more chic than those like just, you know, checkered red, white, green, all the typical baby colors that are out there. So, and also to help her sit, you know, you want things that support her. So I love this little, or it's called the Bobbie Chair that we used, and when she was an infant we used it and she would lay back, but it was nice because she can sit up in it as opposed to the dock top where she would just fully sleep down, lying flat in that. This she's supported, but now what we do is we actually sit her in this, and it supports her little legs and it supports her back enough where she can sit directly up in this without falling. And she would just start to fall to the side a little bit and we would catch her. And now she's just fully sitting up. And we also have the Bumbo Chair, similar to Dumbo, right? And this is really supportive. So even before this, we were putting her and seating her in this, which completely supports her back. But it is even a little bit too much for her at this point because she can sit up on her own now. But I think everybody needs one of these. We didn't even have a high chair at first when we first started feeding her food too. So I would just use this to feed her and sit her in while we waited for the high chair to come in. And then last but not least, you have playtime in the bath. And we just started regular bath time around 3 to 4 months, and we do it every night before bed. It's really helped. She just goes to sleep. It's bath, book, bottle, bed, and she's out for sure. But we have the regular little bathtub that she's in, and then we added a couple bath toys, and these guys are so cute. You're gonna find them everywhere, and there's dinosaurs. These are the little Ballerina hippos. These are called the elegant toys, but they squirt water and they make little sounds, and really, she just puts them in her mouth. And they're soft enough. And then these are great as they develop, as you put them in the bathtub. They just sit there, and then they start to learn that there's dimension to the water, and they put their hand in and they're playing, or they splash. And this is nice because it's a little rain cloud and you fill it with water, and it's like pouring the water on them, but this just kind of trickles down, and she loves to play with it and feel that her hand can still reach through the water, and she learns drinking it. She actually learns water on her face, and at first it was, you know, she cried the first time, and the second time she like blinked through it, and now she doesn't even care. The water's just all over. So it prepares them, I think, for swimming and being more so in water. And it works for her too because her middle name's Rain. So we thank you. This was a gift and we love this. One of the best parts is dressing up my little baby doll. So I feel like I'm an expert in the baby clothes area. First of all, newborn to 0, they're in onesies constantly. I hate to break it to you, but 3 to 6 months, they're still in onesies a lot. So going back to my newborn favorites, I still have Kiki Pants as one of my favorite clothing brands. You see them back here. She's constantly in these onesies. First of all, they need pajamas for every night. They spit up on them, so you're gonna go through a lot. They're easy open and close. And as they start to grow, I mean, if it's summertime too, it's nice because they have one without footsies. These guys have stickies on them, so she's starting to try and stand. There's something to grip for her instead of her feet constantly sliding around. And they also have tops and little bottoms, which I actually find are much easier at the 6-month mark to throw on and go and then remove, because once you start eating food, you know, it gets a lot messier and you go through a couple outfits a day. Fortunately or unfortunately, I love these. They're so soft. They're the best little onesies. Everybody needs some of those, and they're so cute. And then when you have the opportunity to take them out in public and get some fresh air yourself, one of my go-to brands is Lil Lemons. Some of you ladies may know for Love and Lemons, which is a beautiful clothing brand for adult women. But they started a baby clothing brand last year, I think, and they just keep coming out with gorgeous collections. So they have little baby rompers, as you can see, their shorts, and now they're getting into their winter gear. This is her lemon. We had a little matching lemon hat. You can see there's like a little tutu skirt and dress. So when you have an event, I mean, that's the place to go for little girls or little boys. They have really cute clothes, and we have a discount code for you for that, so we'll put that in the comments below as well. And then shoes. So I saw like every baby has moccasins, and I was like, I want something different, and I don't want these moccasins, right? So we buy the little sandals from the Gap, or we buy these other little shoes, and as soon as it takes an hour to put them on, especially the buckles, get nothing with buckles, it's just a waste of your time. She kicks them off, and they're not gonna stay on. And this is why you never see them on babies in pictures, because you're gonna need moccasins. Get them in a couple different colors. They have the elastic so you can stretch them over their feet, and it's the only thing that's gonna stay on their feet. The only other thing, once their feet get a little bit bigger, because this is the smallest size of tennis shoes that you'll get, but we got these Converse from Nike.com, because you can tie them on and they get tight around their ankle so they stay on. You can throw a little pair of sockies once it gets cold. So something really easy for their feet, guys. Don't waste your money or time. And then if you're, if it's resort season or if it's summertime, if you live by the beach like us, we needed a bathing suit, but we have like the palest little baby ever, and so we definitely needed something with SPF in it, because you don't want to put SPF or chemicals on your child. I think it's till after 6 months, and I still, at very limited use, do I want to put anything like that on her. But luckily this is SPF 50 and above. It's from Snapper Rock, and it's the cutest little like sports gear for her. Covers her arms, her chest, and pretty much covers her legs. You can drop this down. So Snapper Rock, guys, cute little onesie, SPF bathing suit for the kiddos, so you can go out and get a little bit of sunshine. From 3 to 6 months, now baby's sleep time is going to change as well. Hopefully they're sleeping a bit more during the night, a little longer, but less naps during the day, fingers crossed. And you're going to go from swaddling them, from my newborn, I love the 8 and a 9 swaddles, and you'll see our tricks for that in our tips for new parents with doula. So just in case you don't know how to swaddle, go check that video out. And then you'll go from that, and they don't need swaddled as tightly, so you'll get the easy swaddle, also by 8 and a 9. All you do is slip them in, snap them up, take this, throw it over the one arm, pick up their little head, wrap this around and snap them in it, and it's time for bed. It's a little looser for their arms and really easy for you to get them into bed. And then they're gonna start progressing, and they're gonna be rolling a lot and doing a bit more tummy time during the day, and guess what? They start to do that during the night too. So you don't want their arms locked in and them to fall on their face and not be able to lift themselves up. So you go to the Easy Sleep Sack, and this guy is by Kite, and I love this brand. I found it when I was just walking through Santa Barbara in a little boutique shop and researched it, and I guess they make a lot of these, and they're a very popular brand, in fact. But it's really easy. You just slip them in, and they have their little arms out. So you can't put a blanket in there because they could choke on it and pull over their head at such a young age. So this is like their little safety blanket, and I mean, wouldn't we all want one of these little sleep sacks? So that's all you need for sleeping time. As the baby's developing, she gets to eat solids. Yay, it's messy time. Basically, there's a couple things. So Remi loved the Dr. Brown's, which I mentioned in my former video, but we ended up buying these smaller bottles, and you can start to give them a little bit of water. So we fill this with water, and this tiny bottle is great for her to practice holding the bottles herself. And we also have a normal sippy cup with the handles on the side for her to start holding it. Developmentally, those toys that we talked about really come into that, because she can now hold on to the bottle, which is great for you, because guess what? Hands free, mommy and dad, woohoo! And then as you start to feed her foods, that's really where the high chair came in. I remember when first found out Remi was, being adopted, I was like, well, I need a high chair. luckily I didn't buy one, and I really didn't need one for the first 6 months. We only started feeding her halfway through month 5, closer to month 6, when we found she was really still hungry after the full bottom. We were like, okay, it's time. That's when I did some research into height chairs, and I really love, this is the Bloom Fresco. I think it depends on your taste. So this was kind of modern and clean, and I liked it in here, but it also has a lot of functionality. It has a little handle on the back, so it has 3 stages in it. One that's all the way down, so when they're really tiny and you're still feeding the bottle, guess what? You can use it here. And then there's the medium one, which is basically where she's at right now when we feed her. And then once they get a little older, they can sit up completely. And then what I love, you see I tucked it away, and then you press this and it comes up to your height. So I normally just sit there. And there's a couple other stages to this. So right now, because I can use, I'm the one that's really feeding her, I just put the food here and feed her here, and I can be closer to her if she needs it and wipe up. And then eventually you can put a piece on here and they have the food there and they can eat from it as well. So I love the Baby Bloom, and it's really easy cleanup. A lot of people complain, about food getting everywhere. You just take this off, it's Velcro, and you can clean underneath it. And this comes in all sorts of colors. There's rose gold, there's black, there's gold, there's brown, it's gorgeous, and then these come in all different colors as well. So I love the Bloom. Couple other things that you'll need, you definitely need way more cleanup. So we still use the Aiden and I bibs, the big cleanup bibs. We put that on first, and then we put one of these little silicone guys on. These are from Chew Beads, which also makes some other great products, but they're so cute. It says keep calm and feed me, or it has like peace, love, and broccoli on this one. So I love these, and they're photo opportunity, everything's a photo opportunity, but so she looks really cute in them. And they catch the food, which is awesome. Or if she spits up, which happens pretty much every single time, they catch all the spit up. You need a lot more cleanup materials when you start solids. And you're gonna need some spoons. Just basically make sure, I love these guys, they're soft for her to chew on a little bit because she's still just learning what to do with all this stuff. But you just need it tiny for them. Tiny and easy cleanup. And then as far as making and storing the solids, first of all, the baby Brezza, you need to have, from my newborn one, I love the baby Brezza formula maker, one press of a button. So I figured as I was looking into something to make her food, I'm gonna go to baby Brezza first. And I love this guy. Basically cut the food up, you throw it in, from spinach to squash to prunes and figs. We've done a bunch of different things, and you can pick the amount of time taken to steam it. So when like green beans are a little hardier, more fibrous, it's like a 30-minute steam versus an apple, which is already filled with a lot of water, which is like 10 to 15-minute steam. And then it automatically pulverizes it. But if you need to process it a little bit more, you can also do that. This, like, the whole household eats off of this. It's like sweet potato, mash. So it's great. And I love making it home because I trust the ingredients. It's very clean, and I'm eating while she's eating. And then what I do with them, I make a lot, and I either put what we need for the next few days into the refrigerator. This is actually our prunes right here. Or I put these into the freezer and freeze them for future storage. Or you can use these little guys, and they're each I think it's about an ounce, so you know how much you're feeding baby with these. And then you just take it out and you pop it out. But the one big recommendation is, this is a hard plastic, I learned, and it's really hard to get them out. So you just make sure you get a really soft plastic so that you can, or silicone, so that you can pop them out. If you've ever made chocolate, it's basically like the same thing. And last but not least, you get to double up on everything you bring with you when you travel with a baby. So now you get to bring food too, fun. But these are great. This came with the baby Brezza that I bought, and you basically just fill your squash or your food or your prunes in there, and then they'll eat out of the top of this, which is great. So you can make your homemade food, and obviously you can pick up food at the grocery store on the run too. That's it. That's all the recommendations you need for all the new solid food eating that you have with a 3 to 6 month old. And hopefully you're going to be getting out of the house and traveling a little bit, whether it's local, just taking your walks to the grocery store, or jumping on a plane and going to a different country, which we like to do a lot. So I have tips for all of them. First of all, my favorite stroller, and I feel like I hear this from a lot of people, is the Uppababy Stroller. It's just easy to use. I can run with it if I want to. It's easy to maneuver. It's really light. It goes great over the bumps. And best of all, it has a bunch of different settings. So it had the bassinet at first for her, and then it transitions into her sitting and facing me. It can transition to her facing out. And once we have another little one, I can add an extra seat into this. So it's money well spent because strollers can be very expensive. Love the Uppababy stroller. For other local travels I've learned, so every single night we still do an Ergobaby walk. Remi loves to face out in this guy. I think she feels like a big girl and she doesn't have to look at me, which she does in the stroller. So I love the Ergobaby. This has 6 different positions in it. You can put it on your back and on your side and your belly. Some of my newborn stuff, but we still use it all the time. And you know what? You're gonna get out of the house when they get grumpy and you're gonna take them to the park and the grass is gonna be wet and it's gonna be dirty and you're gonna have to carry them. So we ordered this from Skip Hop, but you can get a lot of these, but they're like a little picnic blanket, but it's waterproof. So you can take this wherever you go to sit on it. I love that. That was a great idea. And again, also my newborn, but still need it all the time, which is our diaper bag. And this is the paperclip diaper bag. Super chic, made by some guys here in LA. So it actually ends up I carry the baby and my husband carries this because he loves his diaper bag backpack. It stores everything that we need, but it also folds out as a changing table, which is great. And really pretty colors. And then, if you get brave and adventurous, you're gonna start traveling. Maybe to the next city and taking a little trip, or maybe, you know, jumping on a plane and going to a different country. I think that's one of the biggest feedback that I got. We went over to and traveled Switzerland and all over France and Italy and Monaco when she was just 3 months old, and I got a lot of feedback, people saying, I'm scared to take my baby to the grocery store. You just have to get out there and do it, but it does make it a lot easier with the right tools because you end up carrying a lot more. I went through the toys that I bring on the airplane early in this episode, and you know, the bottles that we brought, all that kind of stuff. But you're gonna need a stroller, and you don't wanna carry that big Uppababy stroller with you. You need a travel stroller. So what we did was, you're gonna need a car seat for sure because you're gonna put them in cars. So you're gonna bring your car seat with you. Once you jump on the airplane, some airplanes require you keep them in this, so you'll have to find out. But you will most likely pack this away and they'll, you know, send it for you at the gate basically. So we brought our Nuna car seat, which I love our Nuna car seat. And we found this amazing Baby Zen Yoyo stroller, travel stroller. So it's like one push. Did you see that? That was like magic. Oh wait, I just didn't put it down well. So clips out, it was that tiny. You can take this as a carry-on, fold it up, open it up, and if they put this for you at the gate, and you can see once the kid's bigger, you can just use this, but Remi being 3 months old, and you just clip this in, and look, now you don't even have to carry this with you through the airport or anywhere else that you go. It's got a little brake on it, got a little package, you know, you can put your extra little things in here, and you're ready to go. Bobbie and I had this down to a T where he grabs this, unfolds it, clips it in, I'm holding the baby, we throw the baby in, and we're out of that airplane faster than anybody else. So I highly recommend a travel stroller. Love the Baby Yoyo, or Baby Zen Yoyo. And make sure you have a nice light car seat because you're gonna be carrying it everywhere you go. Well guys, that's it. These are tried and true must-haves for 3 to 6 month olds. They are Remi tested, they work, whether you're feeding them solids, it's bath time, you're working on their developmental skills, or you're getting out of the house and you're traveling with them. Enjoy.